Hello, good Thursday. It is Holy Thursday of the Holy Week, right before Easter Sunday, that we turn our eyes and our minds and our hearts to contemplate Jesus and His sacrifice for us, and in particular His last week on earth before His crucifixion. Last night at sundown started Passover. So I want to read for you a story that has to do with the Passover feast right before Jesus was crucified. And this is out of the book of Luke, chapter 22, starting in verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. So Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we may eat it." And they said to him, "Where will you have us prepare it?" He said to them, "Behold, when you have entered the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you." I love how detailed Jesus is. "Follow him into the house that he enters, and tell the master of the house, 'The teacher says to you, where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he will show you a large upper room furnished. Prepare it there." And they went and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. Jesus' words can be trusted. "And when the hour came, he reclined at table, and the apostles with him. And he said to them, 'I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I will not eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God.' And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he said, 'Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I tell you that from now on I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes.' And he took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.' And likewise the cup after they had eaten, saying, 'This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. But behold, the hand of him who betrays me is with me on the table. For the Son of Man goes as it has been determined, but woe to that man by whom he is betrayed.' And they began to question one another which of them it could be who was going to do this." I love this example that Jesus Christ gives us. And I think particularly today, in the world circumstances that we're living with, His example that He sets for us here is profoundly apropos, and we must concentrate and ponder it. Not only is it special with today being the first full day of Passover and being Thursday of Holy Week, but Jesus says to His disciples, and in proxy to us as we're reading these words, that He earnestly desired to have the Passover meal with them. What Jesus is saying in this passage is He's saying, I earnestly, I fervently, I desirously want to show you, through example of the Passover meal, how I am going to sacrifice myself for you. He tied in all of these analogies with the Passover meal, that He was saying that this food that you're consuming, it's being poured out for you, it's being broken for you, and this is now a picture of my sacrifice for you and for all of mankind. I love that Jesus did something on that day that we must do ourselves today. Are you suffering at all? Are you anxious at all? The COVID epidemic, the pandemic, it's got all of us thinking in different ways. My wife and I were driving around the other day, and she said to me, she goes, "It just feels tense out here. We had some errands to run, and clearly there are very few people even on the road, and everything seems so different," and that she observed that it just feels tense is so appropriate. I feel it too. All of us are walking through something unprecedented, and in no way, shape, or form is it anywhere near what Jesus was suffering on this night in His apprehension about what was to come in the next few hours. But He, like we should today, ran to others. He said, "I earnestly desire to be with you in the middle of my suffering. I earnestly desire to surround myself with people that I love and suffer alongside with you and show you how much I love you." The Gospel of Matthew says it this way: we are commanded to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Are you good at that? Are we good at that? I know when I'm in pain, what I want to do is isolate. When I'm anxious, when I'm worried, when I have fear, I want to hide it. I want to withdraw. And maybe some of you watching this right now, that's all you've done is you've withdrawn. And yes, we're under all of these social distancing guidelines. I'm not saying you run out to your best buddies and give them a holy kiss and a hug, all right? But I'm saying reach out. Show Jesus honor by doing what he did, the example he set for us in running to people that he loved the most, even in pain, even in fear, even in apprehension. We show him honor when we do that with one another. And primarily, we show him that we adore his sacrifice, that we're so grateful that he said, I pour myself out for you. This is the covenant. This is the new covenant written in my blood that we are still under today. Praise Jesus today. And this day, when we turn our eyes to the Passover meal, when we turn our eyes to the hours before his crucifixion, my heart is exuberantly excited. And my heart is still worshiping Jesus, that he sacrificed himself for us. And it's sweeter when we do this together. So pull the people in your life that you love close. Even when you're hurting, even when you're afraid, everything will be sweeter for it. God bless you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow on Good Friday.